Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan episode. This is an episode that I do each week on Wednesday where I share with you what's on my family's meal plan for the upcoming week. There's also a blog post on my website at lolasfrugallife.com with each weekly meal plan and links to any recipes that are mentioned in this episode. That way, if you're looking for the recipe, you can find the exact recipe that I'm referring to. I just do this because I think it's kind of fun to share my meal plan with you guys in case maybe you need some motivation to get your meal plan together or you're just looking for some ideas for new recipes. I definitely simplify my meal planning and I do not make a lot of new recipes all the time. I kind of rotate things on a regular basis. But either way, so this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, November 19th. And Saturday, I actually am trying a new recipe, which is from allrecipes.com. It's called smothered chicken with spinach, potatoes, and mushrooms. So it sounded like it would be a good, fairly easy recipe to make. Basically, you brown the chicken and then cook potatoes, I think, in a skillet. And then you put other ingredients together, add the soup, broth, whatever else is in this. And then you pour it over the chicken and top with mozzarella cheese and Parmesan cheese and then bake in the oven. So I've never made this before, and obviously I'm not going to read through the whole recipe for you, but it sounded like it would be something good to try. So we're going to try that for Saturday. For Sunday, I'm going to be doing slow cooker Salisbury steak, which is from allrecipes.com. This is one of my favorite fall/winter recipes. It's basically, if you haven't had Salisbury steaks before, it's kind of like a hamburger patty, but it has seasonings in it. It's made with dry onion soup mix and breadcrumbs, and then you dredge the patties in flour, brown them real quick, and then throw them in the crock pot, and you make like a sauce to go over them, and they just cook in that all day, like a brown gravy type sauce. And then I'm going to do easy oven roasted potatoes on the side with that, which is from Pillsbury.com, and then just a bag of frozen vegetables. Some of those steam fresh type I always just keep in the freezer just to kind of stick in the microwave really quick. For Monday, we're going to be doing ribeye steak, and for that, I don't have a recipe. I pretty much just take a steak and I marinate it in a Ziploc bag with some olive oil, Montreal steak seasoning, and some red wine vinegar. And then I'll just cook it under the broiler, or in the summer, I'll throw it on the grill so that cooks pretty quickly. And then I'm also going to be making as a side dish Pennsylvania Dutch corn pie, which is basically a pie where you cook some potatoes, whole kernel corn, cream style corn. It does call for hard cooked eggs, but I've just never done that part. I've never added that ingredient. And then milk, and then you kind of cook it on the stove top. You pour that in a pie dish, and then you top it with a pie crust. And that's going to be our side dish to go with the steak. So I'll probably actually make that first because it takes a little bit longer and takes some time to cook in the oven. And then once that comes out of the oven, then I'll just pop the steak in under the broiler and finish cooking that. For Tuesday, we always do some type of Mexican theme. So this week we're doing sheet pan chicken fajitas, which is from foodnetwork.com. It's just a basic, simple fajita recipe. It's just, the chicken and the peppers and onions and some olive oil and some seasoning, and you just cook that in the oven on a cookie sheet. And then I'm going to do white rice with that also because my husband prefers to have that served over top of the white rice, and then some of us will have it on tortilla like a regular chicken fajita. For Wednesday, we always do some type of seafood. So this Wednesday, we're doing fried flounder. I don't have a recipe for that one. I just buy the frozen like the individually frozen flounder fillets, and then I just defrost them and I dip them in egg and breadcrumb and then fry them up real quick. And then for sides, I'm going to do Parmesan herbed noodles from tasteofhome.com, and then I'm going to do another one of those frozen vegetables again on Wednesday, because I'm just trying to keep things pretty easy, because Wednesday is the night before Thanksgiving. So then for Thursday, for Thanksgiving, we make a ton of sides for Thanksgiving, because my kids really like all the different side dishes, and we do too, but I probably would scale back a little bit, but especially one of my daughters is specifically traditional on, well, we always have this on Thanksgiving, so I have to make like everything I've ever made on Thanksgiving almost every year. So anyway, obviously we're doing a turkey. I don't really have well, not obviously, I know some people don't do a turkey, but we're doing a turkey. I don't have a recipe for that. But what I am making that I have recipes for is corn casserole Roman numeral number 3, which is from allrecipes.com. I'm also making Parmesan butternut squash gratin, which is from bettycrocker.com. I'm making classic baked macaroni and cheese, which is from myrecipes.com. And I'm making Chef John's perfect mashed potatoes, which is also from allrecipes.com. And then I'm making best green bean casserole from allrecipes.com. I'm also making a creamy cheesy spinach, which I don't have a link to though. But for this recipe, you basically put everything in the crock pot in this order: 2 packages of frozen chopped spinach, 16 ounces of small curd cottage cheese, 1/4 cup of sliced butter, 1/2 pound of cubed American cheese, 3 beaten eggs, 1/4 cup of flour, and an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And then you just cook it in the crock pot until it's all cooked through together, and like the spinach is, fully not frozen anymore. And it makes a really good side dish. Everybody always likes that when we make it. And then obviously we will be making desserts, but I don't know what we're making yet. And I usually just share regular meals here anyway, not necessarily desserts. So that is what I have to share for Thanksgiving. For Friday, I am not making a meal this week because I never cook the day after Thanksgiving, because we always have so much leftovers. We just eat leftover food from Thanksgiving on Friday, the day after. So that is it for this week's meal plan. I hope that this inspired you or was helpful to you in some way. I will see you back here again with next week's meal plan next Wednesday. Thank you so much for listening. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Lola's Frugal Life. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes, and definitely all of my meal plan episodes, at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.